All right, folks, it is Monday night and it is time for yet another live and live Q&A. As always, if you're new here, we're going to answer all of your questions in the next hour, at least the drone questions. I don't know if I can answer the other questions. But yeah, leave them in the comments. Jason is in the back room over there. He's taking a look at all of them, filtering them, giving them to me, and then I will answer them.
Right.
And there you go. That's me live in there. What else? We've got the entire team back there troubleshooting. Hopefully we don't have any trouble. They need to be shooting. And let's say hi to a bunch of folks. I see people are piling in. It's been a busy day already. I feel like it's been a whole week, but it is only Monday. All right. We have Triad Drone Photography is here. Scott Jordan, Engineer Drone Services. That's our friend Minot. Curtis Warren, Alexander Blankenship, Jillian. I thought Jillian wasn't going to be here tonight. She's here anyway. But yeah, Jillian. Oh, that's you?
Yeah, I joined.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like Jillian better. Robert Droner Jr. is here. You see what I did? His name is Robert Droner, but I call him Robert Droner Jr. They're all clapping back there. Jim Schlusserman is here. We have Joshua Kamen. We have Lawrence Talbert, James Cox. Who else? JJ Burkhardt, Richard Hooker. I think I said that already. Hike and Fly, Just Johnny, Rick Hone, Joseph Bolero, La Loca, Brian, Don M, Aeroskin 3D, Doc Holiday, 888. We have Cloud Camper, Flying Brian. Who else? Bluegrass UAS is here. Thomas Jarbo, James Baraka, Oren. We have Sean Avery, John in Seattle. Who else? Lots of folks already. Sergio de la Garza, as always. We have Surf in the city Waikiki. Who else? I think that's our friend we met at the show, Surf in the city Waikiki, maybe. It's somebody from Hawaii. I don't remember what the username is. Apologize if that's not the right one. First Medic, Cosmo Family. We have Dean Ford, Bo Anderson, Corey is here, Yassine, Corbin. Anyways, Burba FPV. I think that's everyone. Woo! Good stuff. Look at that. 2 minutes in. I had people complaining a couple times that I take too much time to say hi to everyone. And I will say that I will continue saying hi to people because that's the polite thing to do, even if it takes 5 minutes. But it only takes 2 minutes usually. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, we have Part 108. That's kind of the topic of the moment. We have until October 6th to submit all the comments. So that's right around the corner. You've got, 3 weeks-ish to submit that comment. We just posted our video, finally. I know it took us a while, but we wanted to make sure we did it right. So on Friday, we posted the video with our recommendations for comments. That's like the... I don't even know how to describe it because that's not all the comments that we have, but it was already a 30-minute video and we focused on this letter that we did jointly with a coalition of other folks. We call it the Coalition for Commercial and Recreational Pilot. That's the CCR. And we are hoping that you will be able to use that and submit your comment based on the information that we provided. Now, obviously, that's not the only thing that should be commented on, but we really wanted to focus on allowing Part 107, Part 108 BVLOS operations for low risk, low altitude, and non-autonomous missions. So that's what that comment is all about. And if you want to watch the video, don't do it now because it takes 30 minutes. You're going to miss half the show. But when we're done, please go ahead and watch it, and then you'll be good to go. I don't have my mug. I think my mug is on. Yeah, get it so that we can pitch it. Do you know what? If Jillian was here, because she is my favorite, she would totally get it. Absolutely. But she's not, so I'll go with my second favorite, which is Amy. Yeah, if it was Jillian, she'd know it. She'd have it ready before I even ask for it, because she's good like that. I hope she's still here. I know she.
Remember, she was leaving a comment because she couldn't make it, and she wants to see the question answered.
Oh, okay. All right, enough joking around. Let's get to the questions, I guess. And I must be connected to the wrong damn AP again. I keep doing that to my computer, but let me maybe fix this real quick. Let's go with the first question. I have, let's see, that's from Triad Drone Photography. I have seen another drone operator in my area post videos on Facebook of him flying over dams, busy roadways, and from a boat. I assume they are 107 certified since they sell prints of their work. Would there be waivers or any way he could be doing this properly? I don't want to make a report. I mean, there are waivers available for all the things that you're talking about. With that being said, you know, an easy way to do this, is to contact them and politely say, hey, I noticed that you're flying, you know, over people. How difficult was it to get the waiver in order to do this? Don't assume, just assume that they've got the paperwork and then ask questions about how they did it. And then you'll possibly maybe quickly get your answer as to whether or not they're doing it legally. So, yeah. Let's see. Next question. Jillian, actually, who's gone, but wait, did you bring my mug? No, you just bring a fake mug and that's it.
Because you didn't have a mug on your desk.
I do have oh, it's in the sink, I think. It needs to be washed.
Guess what? I made it happen for you.
I keep seeing drones flying over people at events, and I can't tell if they have a parachute system or not. Should I be able to see the parachute when I'm looking from the ground up? Maybe, not necessarily, but oh, I got a mug. Oh, that's my old mug. That's the left-handed mug. The new one is right-handed as well. This one is only left-handed. Because when it's right-handed, you can't see the logo here. You can only show it here. Anyways, the parachute thing, should it be visible? Well, there's two things to consider here. One, how do I say this nicely? It's not really your problem. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. Unless you're enforcing the rules as a police officer, then that drone flying around is really not your problem. But with that being said, should you be able to see a parachute? Yes, probably from the ground. It protrudes quite a bit on top of the drone. So yes, it should absolutely be visible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reconnect to the AP, and then now I'm losing internet. Damn it. Can you get my phone that's on my desk? Sorry. I keep doing this. And next question from Joshua says, I have a follow-up question to something mentioned in a previous live chat, okay, regarding red drones and VLOS. A lot of people put red reflective tape on their drones to reduce risk of birds attacking drones. What is that?
On the topic of parachutes.
Oh, yeah. So that's what one of the parachutes looks like. So that's an AVSS parachute, to go back to the previous thing. So it should be fairly visible. Which one is that for? The Matrice 300?
4.
Oh, Matrice 4. Matrice 4, yeah. This is for the Matrice 4. So yeah, it's sizable. Let's put it this way. You should be able to see it. Yeah, I lost the internet completely, so I'm going to have to log in here on my phone. Thank you, sir. Where was I? Answering 20 million questions at the same time. Next, follow-up question. Yeah, I would say, so red tape. Do you think a red-orange drone like the Fimi Mini 3 or the Autel drone would reduce bird attack and the reflectivity that repelled birds? Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. When I was a kid, my parents, and I still do today, they would put CDs in trees to reflect the light and to scare birds so that they wouldn't come and eat the fruits. Now, eventually they get used to it, but I think on the drone it would make sense if you have something reflective that kind of shines light into the bird's eyes. I don't know that every single bird would be subject to it, but it can really hurt, quite frankly. So, yeah, I would say. Ben was saying the other day, another option is to put fur on your drone to make it more scary to the birds, but I don't think that would work. Don't do that. Okay. Next, let's do this. All right, we should be back in business here. Minut says my Evo 2 V3 Pro RTK. Man, that's a mouthful. Evo 2 V3 Pro RTK is now registered. The day after I spoke with you, the FAA posted more than 40,000 new Autel serial numbers for remote ID compliance. Oh, interesting. That's funny. Yeah, these drones, we actually looked at the Evo series for a long time because the V3 chips were not approved by the FAA for remote ID. And so it left a whole bunch of serial numbers that weren't really approved. This was years ago. This was probably, how old is remote ID? Yeah, it was probably like maybe 6 months to a year into remote ID. So yeah, good. Well, I'm glad they finally fixed it. That's good to hear. Next. Could you explain any differences concerning VLOS at night, visual line of sight at night, as opposed to daytime? In Part 107 night training, you said that loss of the anti-collision light could negate VLOS. Yeah, I mean, visual line of sight at night is very difficult because you need to be able to see the aircraft, but also the attitude and altitude and direction of flight of the aircraft. And, people say, well, the light's on it, can I help with that? But I have to somewhat disagree with that. You can quickly lose orientation of the aircraft, even with the green light and a red light on one side and the other. We did this when we did light painting. We did a session on light painting years ago, and we brought this gigantic drone that we had built. We call it Octozilla, and we put a gigantic light on it to do light painting of a gigantic area. And it turned out really good, actually. If you go to my business Facebook, my page with my name on Facebook, you'll see the background picture is actually that picture. It was a bit of a canyon, and we flew in there and lit up the texture. It was really cool. Long story short, we had lights, green lights and red lights on each side of the drone. And even though the drone wasn't very far, it made it very difficult to actually determine the direction of flight at all times. So I would say don't rely on the lights necessarily. And of course, visual line of sight, as defined in Part 107, is going to be much harder to get to at night, and you're going to lose the drone a lot quicker, so your distance is going to be more limited. Joseph says town barred all public, but target was me. Wait, from a 10-acre school field, my daily practice flight for 8 months, no discussion, people are not happy with me. Does this happen elsewhere? Okay. So they put something in place, I'm guessing, for you to no longer fly because you were the only one flying in that area. Yeah, that seems like a bit of an overreach. And I'm guessing there's probably no way to talk to the town about it. Yeah, that seems like an overreach. I have not heard of that anywhere else, but that sucks. I would, if for what it's worth, I would try to go and talk to them and see what they say. But yeah, tough one. Let's go back here. All right. Minut says I'm going to take off from the center of a rotary roundabout, okay, and do a rocket. Okay, rocket. Yeah. I should be okay as far as flying over people moving vehicles. So what I would do is I would test that somewhere else. I would kind of see how big that roundabout is going to be and then do the rocket and see what it does. But I don't remember all the DJI ones, but I think the rocket just goes straight up. I think you will be fine. Just see, how far it goes off of a certain circle when it starts to fly up. My Part 107 renewal is due in October. When is the soonest that I can renew? So, well, couple things. You can really renew anytime because it's free. So I would renew as soon as you want, because what it does, it's going to start the clock again until the next thing. So it's not like you're not allowed to renew. You could renew a year before if you wanted. What it does, it starts the clock for 24 calendar months from the time that you take this exam. That's really it. Best Pilot Institute course to prepare for the Part 108 Air Coordinator role. None at the moment because there's no final ruling. So we're not going to create content for courses for Part 108 until we know what the final ruling is going to be. So it's going to be a while, but the we can't train you for something that we don't know what the final rule is going to look like. Is there still going to be air coordinators in the future? Maybe, possibly, but not 100% for sure. So we'll see. Can get sound with my Mini 4 Pro or my Avata 2. No, I don't think these record sound on board of the aircraft. I love the anti-carrion RID beacon made by Bluemark that is configurable. They are compliant with the FAA comment. The FAA clearly states that you cannot modify the remote ID signal, and it has to be tamper-proof. So if the remote ID signal is being modified, it makes the drone non-compliant. The fact that it's compliant by the FAA is just a self-declaration from the manufacturer. It doesn't mean that the FAA can go and investigate and find that they're not compliant and then shut down their approval. So anything that is, if you say remote ID and configurable at the same time, it likely means that it's not tamper-proof, which means that it's likely not compliant. What's a fair expectation of going through your drone course? Do I need an enterprise drone to be built to build a sustainable business? If yes, what's an MT to mid-level entry? Sorry, not MT, I can't read. Entry to mid-level budget drone that is needed. There's no drone really needed for the Part 107 course. Obviously, we recommend that you fly before you get to Part 107, because if that's something that you're going to use as a business, you should have experience flying the drone. As far as types of drones, anything from DJI is good if you can find one right now. They're not easy to find, so I would say look for an Air 3S. Those are great platforms. I know Ben, I think, said that he just bought one on Amazon. It wasn't through DJI, yeah. Yeah, through Adorama. So you're able to find them from some resellers. I would say whatever you can find, get them. So Ben has a side business doing amazing videography, and he for realtors, and he decided to get another one because he's worried that if he breaks the one he has now, he doesn't have a backup drone. So he's using his brain to get more stuff before stuff hits the fan. If the automatic ND filter feature for the Mavic 4 Pro still expected to be released, that's a good question. If not, which ND filter do you currently recommend? We have not tested ND filters for the Mavic 4 Pro. We don't have the Mavic 4 Pro anymore. We had it for a period of time to test it. I have not heard about the automatic ND filter. I don't know that it's going to be a thing, actually. I think there's some issues with it that they found during testing that makes it not releasable. I don't know the details. Yeah, we tested it. It's cool. But yeah, I wish they would release it because I think it's a great system. I think we're going to see more of this in the future. I think this is going to be one of these upgrades that we see to potentially like a Mavic 5 maybe in the future that we'll never get in the US. I think it's going to be added to like a pro level before it gets added to like an air level, before it gets added to a mini level. I think it's going to kind of trickle down over the next several stages. So a Mavic 8 probably, a Mini 8 probably will have some sort of ND filter. I think right now, and don't quote me on that, I think it's a weight issue right now. It's not balancing the camera correctly because it's too much weight in the front. So I think if they can miniaturize it a little bit more, then it would work better. I think that's what the issue is, but I'm not, again, don't quote me on that. It's my guess based on the way that we've used it. And then now everybody's going to go online. So, I heard Greg say that it's because of this. Good to blah blah blah. Good to be here. This is from Anonymous. I've been following the US drone ban for a while, and I'm reading that it has reached the final stages. What does this mean going forward? We don't know what the final stages is. So the final stage right now, the only drone ban that we know that's in the books is the one linked to the 2025 NDAA Act, which would put DJI on the FCC entity list, which would mean that future DJI drones would not be able to be approved in the United States by the FCC. That's the only ban, and that ban would go into effect on December 22nd, I think, 20th or 22nd, somewhere around there of this year, if there is no audit that is being conducted by the US government. So there's a campaign coming up that I'm going to announce once it's live on the Drone Advocacy Alliance website. That's going to be asking you to reach to your representative for pushing for that audit. And that's really the only thing that we have now, is pushing for that audit. Yep. That's kind of where we're at with this. I missed last week. This is from Flying Brian. So I don't know if you talked about it. When you were in Vegas, did you talk to the folks from DJI? And what is their take on the upcoming ban situation? Any insights? Yes, we did talk to DJI quite a bit. And I don't know that I'm privy to share the conversations that we had, but obviously they're aware of the ban, and they're doing their best to work with the US government to make things happen. That's what it is. What do you think of the Mavic 4 Pro? Does it have remote ID? Yes, it does have remote ID. My thoughts on it? Cool platform. I mean, I love the controller. I think the new controller form factor is really cool, with the screen that you can flip to go vertical very quickly. I think that was really neat. A couple things I didn't really like. The gimbal movement, as fancy as they made it sound during the presentation, I think has some serious limitations. Not being able to do a full 180-degree rotation, I think, was my biggest surprise. I was super disappointed. I was flying towards this beautiful tree that we have on this lake, and then I was going to do this nice little rotation on it, and then we got to maybe so that would be 180 degrees, right? We got to about 135, 140 degrees, and then it stopped. And I was like, come on, I just need a little bit more, and it didn't work. I didn't care for the way that it flew. It was a little bulky, in my opinion, not as responsive as we've seen with other DJI drones. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because they're piling on more and more stuff to it. The gimbal is pretty bulky. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or if it's just the tuning in general, but it wasn't as snappy. Like, you know how you can let go of the controls and then the drone kind of suddenly stops? This was more like, it just kind of kept on going. Image quality was obviously amazing. I think the electronic ND filter was game-changing because of what it does. It changes your ND filter instead of changing your other settings. So you can set your shutter speed and your aperture to whatever you want it, and then the ND filter does the work in the background. What else?
For me, for what I do, is flipping it vertically.
Yeah.
The gimbal couldn't go up and down.
Yeah, you can't pitch up and down when you flip the gimbal vertically. Yeah, so it's a little bit
severely restricted
compared to other drones, very restricted. Yeah, and that's why also Ben said that he's getting the Air 3S because and the same thing with Ken. We talked to our friend Ken Dono from Original Dobo. He said the same thing. He's using the Air 3S because I think the gimbal limitation is just
because you film so much vertically.
And you. Yeah, if you do a lot of social media work, then yep. Past that, amazing flight time. I thought it was fairly quiet, but yeah, the way that it flew, and then that gimbal issue, I think is something that they need to fix. Yeah, I don't know that I would upgrade, quite frankly. And maybe I said it's because we don't have it available here, but I don't know that it's an upgradable item from the Mavic 3. I think the Mavic 3 is still king to me. I also, the one thing that I did like, they changed the zoom levels a little bit, and I thought that was actually really nice as well. It goes to 6. No, what is it? How did it change? Yeah, no, it's I don't remember the exact numbers, but the way that they changed it is actually makes it, I think, more valuable. Okay. Cosmos Family says, what do you think about drones for security monitoring, and what's a good amount of certification and training for a new drone pilot? Ooh, those are very open-ended questions. Drones for security monitoring, I think, is a great idea. I think that's a great use case for drones in a box. We actually were going to do this here on top of our building and put a drone in a box that can be deployed anytime there's a security event. Now, we live in a town that has almost no crime and doesn't have a whole lot of bad stuff happening. So I don't know that it, other than to make a use case scenario for training, there's no real reason for us to do this. But with that being said, I think it makes sense for a lot of businesses like a Home Depot or, you know, somewhere where you have a big parking lot at night that needs to be kind of monitored. I think it makes a lot of sense, you know, being able to, it's almost like a mini drone as first responder type thing where you have the ability to send a drone to a location to see what's going on instead of sending, or in addition to sending a human on the ground as well to go check. As far as good amount of certification and training, you know, it all depends on what you plan on doing, but it's always the same thing. Certification is part 1 to 7. That's the bare minimum. That doesn't mean that you're proficient at flying the drone itself. So you need to do training, flight training as well, in order to know what you're doing behind the control of the aircraft. So it's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I'm going to go back to the feed. Okay, there you go. Next. Formerly film photography said, I've moved to South Carolina from Florida. Do I need to contact the FAA and cancel my wide area authorization? Nope, I would not change it. You never know if you're going to need it again. It doesn't hurt to have it in the system. So, yep. There's also, speaking of wide area authorization, we just got some information today that the LAANC program might be changing. And that's all I can say at the moment, but you heard it first. I'm going to have to wait and we're going to have to wait until it's a bit more official. But yeah, there are some changes coming up. I think actually some good changes, as long as it doesn't get spun out of control. But I think there's some good changes coming to the LAANC program. We'll see. With the probable DJI ban coming, do you see any sort of silver lining with either new alternative US drone manufacturing starting or some other stuff you may not have thought about before? I don't see a whole lot of silver lining with the potential DJI ban right now because it has been very, 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 very poorly planned. And that's not really a big surprise, you know, with AUVSI behind all of this ban stuff, that it's been poorly executed. And what it's going to do is it's going to hurt a lot of businesses like you watching this show right now. And so do I see new alternatives? Unfortunately, we are 4 months-ish, right? 3 months? 3 months from a potential ban from DJI. We've essentially been in a ban situation with DJI for the last year because of the CBP stuff. And yet, there's been 0 manufacturers, American or others, that have stepped up to take over this market or to compete with DJI. And so what is that telling me? Should we expect alternatives to a DJI Mavic or to a DJI Air or to something like that from a US manufacturer? I don't think so. If they haven't done it now, with all the stuff that's happening now, I don't see them doing it. And keep in mind that DJI right now is probably already working on the Mavic 5 and possibly even the Mavic 6, right? The R&D process for this takes forever, and not forever, but a long time. You know, DJI has a 1-year cycle, right? Well, actually more than that. Depends on the drone, but like a Mavic is what, a 3-year cycle? So somebody would have to already be working on this to come up with an alternative. And when is that coming out? And so there's going to be a desert for a little while of no drones available to the 99% of the people who fly, which is you that are watching this show, which is public safety agencies. And we've been vocal about this for years. We've been criticizing AUVSI and the likes for their lack of foresight on all of this. 3 years ago, I was in a discussion with AUVSI, and I asked them during one of their live events if they had done research on capacity from American manufacturers for how much they can actually produce, and if that was going to be enough to fulfill the demand. And the answer was no. And guess what? 3 years later, they still haven't done it. And so this is designed to hurt you, really. This is going to hurt you, small business out there that are flying for recreational purposes, that are flying for fun, and all because these people in suits in DC have a complete inability to care about you and your situation, and have a complete inability to plan and use their head. And so it's going to, there's no silver lining. I hate to say it. There's just no silver lining. There's no replacement drones that are in the pipeline that we've heard of, that we have seen. And we're 3 months from a potential ban of DJI. And yep. Sorry to put it this way, but at one point, there's no sugarcoating it. There's been an absolute and utter failure from the folks that advise the people in DC. And when this happens, you can blame it on them 100%. You can blame it 100% on these lobbying organizations that have taken the money and run to hurt you and your business. Can probably stop the feed now. That's it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Glenn says, do you have any more information on the release date on the Mini 5 Pro? It has been rumored to be soon, this week, next week. I don't remember what the rumor. We talked about it last week. It's soon, but yeah, it's coming. The rumor. I don't think there's any official date just yet. So, but we know that DJI puts out like a teaser, right? Thing. Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think we've seen the teaser.
No, we haven't seen. That's what I'm saying. They usually put out a teaser a couple days or a week before. So we'll see when the teaser comes out. Yeah. When will the Mavic 4 Pro deep dive be published? That's a question for Jason. Or for Ben, I guess.
That's actually a question for me. So,
yeah.
It's fully filmed.
It's fully filmed.
The editing has not started.
We haven't started editing.
Part 108 is priority.
Yeah, we haven't started on the editing because we've been busy with the Part 108 and a few other finishing things. So yeah, probably a month within
Less than a month.
Less than a month. Yeah.
Within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, next couple of weeks it should be out. Yeah, unfortunately we've been so busy with a lot of different projects that we have to kind of prioritize everything. And the Mavic 4 not being released in the US means that it's getting lower priority in our books, unfortunately. Lobbying equals legal bribery. Yes, Christian, you are correct. Referring to Part 107 and COA rules, so COA Certificate of Authorization, that's related to public safety. Has there been any clarification on the term sparsely populated and generally acceptable industry standards? No, Matt, this is a great question. Sparsely populated, by the way, is not a drone term. It's not a new term by the FAA. It's a term that's been in existence in the manned aircraft world forever, and the definition has been not defined specifically on purpose for years by the FAA. The best thing that you can do with this is to go look at court cases, and the FAA has the legal counsel, right? So let me explain a couple things here. When pilots and industry members and industry professionals have questions about the FARs, the Federal Aviation Regulation, they can submit to the FAA legal counsel to ask for a letter of, I don't remember the exact term, a letter of explanation, basically explaining the rule. It's like, hey, we have this case. I'm not sure what the rule says. Can you please explain? And it takes weeks. You can submit it. It takes weeks, months, actually. And eventually the FAA might come up with a letter that says, here's a letter of explanation. I don't remember the exact term for some reason. It's escaping my head right now. But there are official, like letters from the FAA that kind of explain sparsely populated based on cases. And so what happens too is sometimes the FAA goes after a pilot because they flew over what they believe is a sparsely populated area. And then they go after the pilot and they try to take their certificate away. And so that goes to court. And when it goes to court, then there's a court case that can be referenced in the future as a legal precedent. And there's a bunch of those for sparsely populated. But no, there's not really an official description of sparsely populated. I hope that answers your question, because I know it doesn't. I'm sorry. It sucks. That's just how it is. So, we have. I see we have a few people in the chat that came in. We have Scott. We have Sea Venture. We have Sparky. Sparky says, "My wife is watching for the first time. Tell her that I need to order the Mini 5 Pro." Yeah, I think Sparky needs to order the Mini 5 Pro.
If you're going to recommend that for him, I
you watched it?
That he needs to pick one up for us in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Or wherever he's getting it, and bring us one back.
Yeah, Sparky, wherever you go to get one, bring us one back, and then I'll endorse the purchase. Then you have a reason to go purchase it. Then your wife can say yes.
And you'll sign the drone for him.
And I'll sign, yeah, to go along with his frame picture. Okay. Next, what is the best job that involves drone? I cannot answer that question. That's there's no such thing, right? There's a lot of different industries that use drones. There is your interest. There is the skills that you have that you're going to put into drones. So flying a drone, remember, a drone is a tool to capture data, and so you're going to be using that drone whichever way you want. But the best job is the one that you have knowledge in, that you have interest in, that can make money, and that utilizes the drone. That's the best job right here that involves drones.
Can I tell you my opinion?
Yeah. What?
The best job involving drones?
Yeah.
Is to work for pilots.
It's to work for Pilot Institute, yeah.
That's right.
Limited supply of dream jobs available. How do I protect my drone during bird hunting season? Whoa. Had a pet rescue drone service shot at by possible hunters. Okay. I called the FAA and warrant service. Ooh, so I'm guessing you're worried that your drone is going to get shot at by hunters. I mean, if they're mistaking a drone with a bird, they probably should not be hunting, or they're doing it on purpose. Yeah, I don't know how you protect yourself. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right. Next. Cloud Camper says, when one looks at LAANC, you see the grid with numbers, correct? How are the grid squares measured in reality? I think they're half a mile now. They used to be a mile, and then now the FAA split them into 4 squares, and I think they're half a mile now. They don't seem to be a square mile. Yeah, they're a quarter of a square mile now, I guess. Mikey's World says, what is the best drone detection system that you have tested so far that is portable? Ooh, that's portable. So we are testing a couple solutions right now, some of which are portable, some of which are not. I don't want to give it away just yet until we've done the full investigation. So let me get back to you in a few months. Actually, we want to test these for a few months to make sure that they're good to go. And then also portable, yeah. There's going to be different levels of portable. There's going to be obviously the full, like on the roof, on an antenna type of system that is going to be not portable. But then there's like a system that you can move pretty easily, but it's still fairly bulky, that is going to give you pretty good coverage. And then there's like portable like this, where you just have a little device and then you carry it with you. So, yep. If time, could you recap the 30-mile medical drone delivery? I don't know what that means.
Remember we had a story on News Update?
The story from News Update. I mean, this is a story that we talked about, in News Update. I don't know that I have much more information than what we talked about in News Update, but it's basically using a drone to deliver something that used to take an hour, and it took 30 minutes with the drone, and it was for medical purposes, which I think is a great way to do this. So, I don't know that I have much more to add to that. One of the great use cases for drone delivery, in my opinion. Flying Brian says, does PI have any how-to video for filing out waiver applications? Yes, we do. I applied and was rejected. So we have actually a course on that. I always hate to send people to a course. I don't want to be salesy, but we did spend a lot of time on that course trying to get all the data, trying to explain how to submit those waivers. It's probably worth the expense. I don't remember what it's priced at right now, but it's not overly expensive. And, if you value your time, it probably is about the value that it will save you that much time that it makes the course worth it. But you can find that on our website. Is it worth getting Part 107 still with USA possibly banning drone? Well, let's wait here. They're not banning drones, okay? They're talking about banning one brand, but they're not banning drones. So let's not jump to conclusions. So I mean, Part 107 is still going to be required to fly any kind of drones for non-recreational purposes. So that doesn't change even with DJI eventually potentially getting banned. How do you know if the population is low enough to be legal to fly FPV from a car as a passenger? Our rule is if there is any, housing nearby, then it's not sparsely populated. So if there's no houses, then it's sparsely populated and you can fly from a car. That's what I'm going to say. Breaking Flights says, with the new law looming on the horizon for DJI, is it safe to say that I should hold on buying a Mini 5 Pro? Actually, I think quite the opposite. Well, first off, the Mini 5 Pro is likely not going to be available in the United States. But if you find one, I definitely would not hold on, because this could be one of the last model that is actually approved to fly. So, I would say, no, don't hold off if you find one, or any used DJI drones. Burba FPV, anyone there or in the chat ever do drift cars or race carts? Is a waiver required since you're technically chasing the car? Like do drift event get waiver for people or cars for close courses? So close course doesn't really mean anything. What matters is whether or not you are flying over people in moving vehicles. So if you're flying over people in moving vehicles, then you would need to have a waiver or a categorized drone, more than likely a category 1 drone, which is under 250 grams with prop guards and remote ID. That's it. Matt says, what do industry experts think of the point of no return for a drone ban? Or is the point of no return for a drone ban? If it doesn't start by a certain date, will it not get done in time? Personally, I think we've passed that. I don't know that. Think about it, right? You've got 3 months. Is a government agency going to start a drone ban, an audit today? What's the chance of them getting it done in 3 months? So I personally think we've passed that, and that we should be asking for an extension, because to me it still doesn't make any sense that there is this this possibility of convicting a company without proof, which is essentially what this is going to end up being. The 1 year mark should not be in there. Sure, there should be an audit, absolutely, of DJI and any other drones out there, American or not, quite frankly. And if they pass the audit, then they should be allowed to fly. But saying it's like a police officer arresting you and saying, "I'm going to put you in jail, and then if we can get to your trial by December." Then good. But if we can't, then you're just going to be convicted and we're going to skip the trial. We're just going to put you in jail forever. That's what we're doing, by the way. This is exactly what is going to happen, or is potentially going to happen. So that doesn't make sense. Luel Kama says, can other person that is on my side use binoculars to increase VLOS? Nope, they cannot. The FAA says unaided vision, so binoculars are excluded. Avgeek Joe says, wouldn't some Autel drones be able to replace DJI? And what would be recommended as a Mavic 4 alternative? No, because we always say DJI, but Autel is also included in that ban, that potential ban in December. And so Autel and DJI are named in the document specifically. So Autel drones would also disappear come December. Lual Kama says, and by the way, yeah, no, that's it. That's all I gotta say. Second question is valid to use stickers that change the color of the drone, for example, orange, like that are sold on Amazon. Yeah, I don't see why not. Don't see. If you put hot water on it, does it change color?
Oh, that'd be cool, like Hot Wheels.
Like the Hot Wheels? Man, I loved those cars when I was a kid. So yeah, you have to put hot water on your drone. That'd be fun. Next, do you know if DJI is repairing drones? I think it depends on the model right now and what parts they have available in the United States. Ultra Vegas says, made it late today, no worries. With DFR beyond visual line of sight operation, DFR is drone as first responders. Who has the right of way between them and a commercial recreational UAS? There's no rules for that. That's a good question. My concern is with what Vegas is doing is they are adding them elsewhere. Yeah, they're putting, Vegas is definitely putting a lot of drones, DFR drones all over the city. There's no rule at the moment. The FAA says that you need to give way to other aircraft. So each group would have to give way to the other. A commercial recreational drone has to give way to a DFR drone and vice versa. This has probably been asked already, but can I go to Canada or Mexico and purchase and bring back a Mavic Mini 5 or a Magic Mini 5 as written? You can, but you're going to have to declare that drone upon entry in the United States if you want to do this legally. So,
Even if it's open and it's in your luggage?
It's technically something that you didn't have when you left the country and that you have when you come back. So yes. What's a fair expectation of going through your drone business course? Do I need an enterprise drone to be suitable for business? You don't actually. The drone business course is really designed to help you build your business, think about your business, build the business plan and get you started on the right foot. Ultra Vegas 76, follow up with DFR. Okay, follow up. Will DFR be required to have ADSB out so that they can see? No, that's kind of the topic of discussion right now. Yeah. The ADSB out is not allowed in the United States on drones unless there are very, very few exemptions to that. But no, you would not have ADSB out on a drone. So that's the difficulty, right? How do these drones become visible and are avoided by other users in the airspace? I see somebody saying DJI is a toy, build your own and fly acro only. No, that's actually, I'm sorry, but that is not a solution. This is unfortunately typical of people who build drones who keep saying, well, just build your own drone. But that's not the point. You cannot build a Mavic level quality drone that is going to fly with GPS and provide the footage that is completely different from FPV footage. FPV footage is one thing. Fine, you want to build your own, you want to do FPV flights, that's fine. That is not what is being used today. An FPV drone is not going to be used to capture data, to do mapping. That's not how it works. It has to be fully automated. It has to have GPS. Can you build that? Yeah, maybe, probably. But do you build your car to go to work? Do you build your a tractor to, do you tell a farmer to build their own tractor because it's probably going to be a lot better for them? No, I'm sorry, but there is room for drones that are already built. DJI is not a toy. A $18,000 drone is not a toy that is going to carry a LiDAR unit, that is going to carry a P1 sensor. Can you build a drone that's going to have a P1 sensor on it? I'm sorry, but I'm so sick and tired of this argument of people saying this is a toy and you should build your own. I'm sorry, but that is completely not appropriate for the discussion we're having here. It's not a toy. It is not a toy. Anyways, sorry, I get annoyed at this. Anton Get Lost says a couple months ago, Rick Scott, oh my God, introduced Drones for America Act to ban Chinese blah, blah, blah. Any news on that passing? I don't think it has made it. I think it died somewhere in the process. So I think we're going to keep it that way. I mean, that's cool that you have M10 GPS and iNav on it. Can you stabilize the image? Can you have no wobble in it? Can you have a gimbal underneath it that's controlled from the ground? I don't think you can. The Guns and Glory show says, do I need a physical copy of my trust certificate? No, you can have actually a digital version of that. Next, Mikey's World. Are you going to the Drone Nerds conference in Miami? Unfortunately, I cannot. I don't think it's October 21st. I think it's actually, oh, is it October 21st? Yeah, I think it's October 21st. Unfortunately, no, I won't be able to. I don't know if it's worth it. I've never attended. They actually invited me to go, but I have a previous engagement. Unfortunately, I cannot make it. Otherwise, I would have gone. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. I think if you're in the Miami area, it's probably something that you want to check. I don't know what the tickets are, but it's a good place to go and talk to people in general. I want to be clear, I'm completely against a potential DJI ban. From what I understand, there isn't any evidence that corroborates an actual finding of wrongdoing. Is that a correct statement? I mean, you know, if they have if they have the goods on DJI or the bads, whatever you want to call it, why are they asking for an audit? End of discussion. That's my question right there. So if you know that something is bad, then you shouldn't need an audit, right? You have the proof already. Mike says, will the Mavic Air 2 become a paperweight? That's the ban. No, none of these drones are going to become paperweights with the ban from the NDA. Only future models would not be able to be approved and sold in the United States. If an uncontrolled airport is closed for a hot air balloon event, will the NOTAM say how far away from the airport you must stay? There was not a TFR. So typically what happens is that NOTAMs, yes, NOTAMs have a volume, but typically these NOTAMs also have a TFR, especially hot air balloon festivals typically have a TFR specific to drones. So make sure you read that. But if there is a NOTAM, there's going to be a volume. So it's going to say 2 miles from X GPS coordinates, and then you can kind of measure from there. Lendon says, let's see, how are the FAA going to map the category 1 through 5? So that's already been done. The FAA has published a data set, it's called, and that I think Jason is going to be able to, Jason is going to be able to share the link to the, whatever you call it. And there you can basically filter by different categories and see where they are in what area. And it's actually funny enough, there's a day map and a night map, but we'll just share the day map. I think that's the important one. Blah, 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 blah. Somebody says, shit, I lost it. There it is. Where's the accent from? Kansas. Yep. Somebody actually complimented my French accent the other day, which is where the accent is from. In a video, they said that I said grêle and something else really well. Sorry, I get in late and haven't scrolled back through, but some Part 108 probing here. With Part 108, are we having altitude variation from Part 107? Part 108 altitudes are very similar to Part 107 until you get to controlled airspace, and then it gets confusing. The FAA wants to modify the way Part 107 flights are done in controlled airspace as well as Part 108. So, yeah. Sparky has a great question, not drone band related. Thank you, Sparky. He says, does pineapple belong on a pizza? And that is a big fat no.
But if Sparky's ordering pizza to be delivered here,
no. If Sparky is ordering pizza for us, he's not putting, because he's a sensible person.
It's the same Sparky I know, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking of another Sparky. Sensible person. Sparky, funny. If somebody can just remove this guy from the chat, it's fine. I won't be sad. Colorado says, I have a Mini 3 Pro with built-in remote ID, but the drone serial number isn't showing up on the FAA website. Any idea? Let's do it again. Mini 3 Pro with built-in remote ID, but the drone serial number isn't showing on the FAA website. I mean, the drone serial number... Oh, you say in the DOC, the Declaration of Compliance spot. Yeah. I would say, well, Mini 3 Pro, the Pro version has remote ID. It should be on the website. So reach out to us. Maybe we can take a look. But it should be on there. Oh, which battery are you using? Maybe it shouldn't change the remote ID though. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I have a Mini 3 Pro with built-in remote ID. Oh, I just said that. Bull. What is the app to see if there is any other drones flying near you? Shit, I never remember the name of that app because I never use it. I have it on my phone. Stand by. Let me go look at... Sparky just said he's going to have pizza on us next time. Where is my drone folder? Damn, right here. Okay. The app is called Drone Scanner. There you go. So Drone Scanner is the one that we recommend. There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, but that's the one that we've tested. I think worked the best on Android and on iOS, I think.
What do you want to say about the Part 108 comment video that we just put out?
Yeah, Part 108 comment. Go take a look at the video. It's almost time here. It's very educational. It's 30 minutes. It's only 15 minutes if you do it at 2x. I sound a lot better at 2x. If you watch me enough at 2x and then you watch me at 1x, it sounds like I'm drunk because I'm speaking really slow. Oh, Air Sentinel as well. Thank you, Jason. That's the other one. I can never remember either. But yeah, go watch the video. Formulate your comment. Find what you like, what you don't like about this. We put out 2 videos. One is 35 minutes long, explaining the whole caboodle, like the whole thing. And then second one is talking about the issues that we've identified, some of the issues that we've identified, mainly the issues with not allowing manual flights under Part 108. And so I'd like to see that added for sure so that you and everybody else who's watching can fly their non-DJI drones beyond visual line of sight. Sorry, sarcasm. Yeah, that sucks. So that's it. And then we have mugs. If you made it this far, we still have a bunch of mugs for sale. They're going fast. We've sold quite a few already. So we'll put a link somewhere in the description, I'm sure, for the mugs. And yeah, Jason says, Greg at 0.5x speed sounds like he's drunk. Yeah, definitely. It sounds funny when you start to slow down people. Anyways, that's it, folks. I will not be here next Monday. I will be in Akron, Ohio for a NAFI, National Association of Flight Instructors Summit. I'm doing a presentation over there, and then we're going to be talking to flight schools and a bunch of stuff. So I will, well, maybe you guys can have the Q&A. Maybe Jason can do, I don't know if Jason's going to be back. I don't think Jason's going to be back. Maybe Ben can do Q&A. That would be fun.
No.
Nope. He says nope. So, oh yeah, maybe we do a different version. Ask Ben anything question. about anything. Babies, the whole shebang. But yeah, I'll be back on time for news updates, and we'll have news update on Friday for sure. Go do your comment, and then we will see you, well, next time. Fly safe.